career advice you wish you knew when you were starting out in your career?
Yeah, I wish someone had told me that it is perfectly fine to have a non-linear career path. I think I benefited quite a lot from iterating as I continued on my journey and got to know what I valued better, got to understand the market realities better. And I still started out from that mindset that, early in your career, you're almost taught to think of it as this is the end point and now figure out a way to get it. But careers are meant to have a little bit of exploration and some detours built in along the way.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career journey that has had a significant impact?
I would say that the first time in my career that I decided to quit my very stable and well-paying job and try my own hand at entrepreneurship, I think that was a pretty significant inflection point in my career. I'd already been with this company for 6 years at that point in 3 different continents. So I had a lot of stability. I sort of knew what I was doing. But I think I'd also only seen one theme of problems. I hadn't seen a very broad variety because I was just working with this one company. And so then when I started my own company, I went through those normal things that I think a lot of people feel, that, you're not sure if you're going to be successful. You're not sure if you can pull it off. Like, you're valued in that corporate space and now you're doing your own thing. There's lots of different skills to learn. There's technical skills. Some things you just don't have that same sort of an exposure in a corporate environment. But there's also other things, other skills, like figuring out how to pitch to new clients and getting their business and really building that trust. Being strategic about it, about building that trust so that you can get good projects and something exciting to work on. So I felt like all of that process was really transformative for my career, because I was able to get through all of it. One, I ran that business for 2.5 years, so I was able to not just replace my salary, but actually make a lot more than I was making in my corporate job. So all of that actually did a lot for my confidence, for my sense of that, hey, I can walk into a problem that I don't know the answer to, but I can figure it out. So that really changed my perspective and even how I show up at work. After that, when I went back to corporate roles, I felt like as if I'd been running uphill for the last 2.5 years, and now suddenly I was almost, walking on stable ground, or like maybe a little bit downhill occasionally. So it was kind of nice. When you've tried things that are really hard and actually being able to do them, it then everything else then becomes a lot easier.
What was just out of interest, what was the main driver, the main motivator for you personally to move out of, as you said, the corporate world where you were in a stable job to try your hand at entrepreneurship?
I think the biggest driver was probably something that doesn't resonate with me as much today. Like, I wanted to be my own boss. So I kind of, I very naive at that point, but I'm like, things will just be so much more awesome if I could just be my own boss and figure out all of that. It's actually really hard being your own boss. You don't realize, I'm pretty hard on myself. So that can sometimes come with its own set of challenges. But I would say today, if I look back, I think the best part of it was just trying something different. I wasn't only trying to build skills that I already had and kind of seeing the natural next step. I was basically starting things from scratch and trying to figure out what makes sense. So, yeah.
How do you approach challenges and setbacks in your professional life, and what's your go-to strategy for overcoming those?
Yeah, I would say with setbacks, I think a helpful way that I think of them is that I really look at them as an opportunity. So don't get me wrong. Anytime I have a setback, I do feel sad. I do feel, that, I wish this had worked out a different way. And I allow myself to feel those emotions. But once I'm done, I really go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what could I have done differently? Like, was there something in my control, or was it just the situation? So where do I have control? Where do I have focus? What can I learn from this situation so that the next time I'm in a similar situation, I at least reduce the likelihood that I will still face a setback. I genuinely believe that human beings are designed to seek challenges. We get joy out of doing difficult things, and then when we overcome those difficulties, that's something that we feel good about, we feel proud of, and we almost seek out those situations. But the whole thing about challenges is that sometimes you're successful and sometimes you're not. So that is the expectation, that you're not always going to be successful. So I will almost say that if you never have failure, if you never have setbacks, it almost means that you're playing it too safe, and you're not trying anything new that stretches your skill set, that forces you to look at new things and look at new opportunities. So that's my overall go-to strategy. Just really see challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth, for learning, and for improving with that.